Today, even the launch of Garden Residences,
Yes.
alright, we are seeing that it has an MRT, it has schools.
For Hudson Place Residences, there's actually 2 blocks. It is a mixed development residential with estimated of 400 square meter of commercial space at level 1.
So we are going to see for more and more Singapore employment to be there.
Yes.
Okay, that's why there's actually plans to put in residential lands.
Hi, welcome to SPOTCAST.
Smart Property Opportunity Talk. I'm David.
I'm Audrie.
Alright, today we're going to go into this project study, which I personally myself think that I don't think I should be buying. Okay, because due to the hype of Singaporeans, I'm an average Singaporean, I'm a normal Singaporean. Okay, no MRT, no school. Buy for what?
Yeah, that will be what a lot of people will be thinking
Yes.
about. But
Alright.
let me prove you wrong today.
Okay, sure. Alright, so this project that we are going into is actually Hudson Place Residences. Okay, if you ask me, right, Media Circle, number
Yes.
one, I only go Media Circle once or twice.
Yeah.
And I passed by Mediacorp and I said, wow, quite nice. Alright, but if you ask me, I don't think this is a place that, you know, it will appeal to the general public at all.
Why?
Who wants to say that, man?
There's
I'm
a
not
lot
going to
of
see
people working
TCS
there.
actress every day. Yeah. Alright, so but then today Audrey is going to prove me wrong because she feels that this is really a place that you can go into with great entry, good location, as well as sound exit.
Yes. But today, let's dive into this development itself first.
Okay, so today the developer itself is actually Qingjian Realty as
And
well
4C
as
Holdings.
yes, and as we know, right, Qingjian, they are actually quite popular and quite renowned. Okay, they have been building HDBs from a start, going to condos, and the few condos that they are very, very famous in is actually Jadescape,
Yes.
Tenant, and of course, recently we have Bloomsbury as well as Coastal
Coastal
Cabana.
Cabana,
And
yeah.
but then, you know, being aside, they have a trend of not selling well on day one, except for Tenant.
Yes. But after that, the results good actually. Yes.
Yeah. Alright, so project name is actually Hudson Place Residences. Alright, we went through the developer, and then what is this Hudson Place about?
Yes, it's actually residential with estimated 400 square meter of commercial on level 1 itself. And then there's actually comprised of 2 blocks. One is 23 stories high and the other one is 15 stories high.
So we are expecting towering blocks, and then we have 327 units. But the thing that I'm not very comfortable in again is the limited parking lot, which is only 50%.
Yes, Car-Lite present, and Singapore we are actually going into that. Just like when you look at Vella Bay, and then of course in Marina area itself.
Okay, how many of you actually feels me? Okay, Singapore got close to 1 million cars,
Yeah.
and you're trying to make it car-like.
Yes.
So what's going to happen to all the cars?
Because this is a place where, you know, it's going to be like a town where you can actually live, work and play inside. Yeah, so there's no necessity lah for a car actually.
Okay, so but then of course we have to look at the profile of the people who are going to stay there.
Correct.
So that we'll dive into whether it makes sense for this property to actually have 134 car park slot only. Okay, but I have to say this project itself, I kind of like the architect, which
Yes.
is P&T Consultant.
P&T Consultants.
Okay,
Private
Landscape
Limited,
Ecoplan
yeah.
Asia, as
And
well
then
as the
interior designer.
Index. Alright,
Yes.
this based on my understanding, right? Because last time I was doing a Well Hill residence, I think these 3 architect, landscape,
Interior
ID,
design,
right?
yeah.
They are doing a Well Hill. So what you expect is probably a very luxurious look property.
Yes, and it's sitting on a site area of 7,629 square meter.
So pretty good size.
Yep.
Alright, but looking at it right on the site plan, what we are seeing is, despite the fact that you know it is in Media Circle, it's giving a tennis court.
Yes, and a 50-meter slab pool.
So I think it's pretty cozy to be staying there.
Correct.
And-
with 327 units, I think it's very, very nice, you know, number of people inside there.
Okay, and
Yeah.
of course what we have here is this. Okay, we have 2 towering blocks, and then they are placed in a zigzag manner in which you will not see your neighbors.
So you can't pass salt and pepper. Too bad.
Yes, alright. So good thing is this. Alright, no, this is not a good thing. This is in fact puzzling me because in a location like that, okay, they are building more than 55% of 2-bedders.
Correct. 2 bedroom premium and 2 bedroom premium plus study. That actually consists of more than 55% of the unit mix inside there.
Yes, and then
Yes.
we only have
We have about 22%, close to 22% of 3-bedders, and then about 20% of 4-bedders.
okay. So what we are looking at is this project, is it not made for own stay. It's more for investment property.
You see, we apart from having it as an investment for rental, in Singapore, our population, families actually are getting smaller too.
Household size lah. Household size getting smaller.
Yes.
Okay, so this is something which we have brought up in our previous video, if I'm not wrong. Alright, does it still make sense to buy big units? Because a lot of buyers that we met nowadays, they say, oh, I need 3 bedrooms and above so that I can make a good profit.
I only want to go as big as possible
So they actually forget about location, forget about entry, but they just want to go big, thinking that they can exit well. But then you got to look at it. Today, property price, is it going on the high side?
Correct. So while thinking about going big, right, a lot of people will, put back their plans to buy a property first.
Yes.
Yeah, so they can save more money. They can probably invest more and then try to earn more money to be able to go into big units.
Yeah. So I think today you have, as Singapore buyers, we have to ask ourselves this question. Okay, Singapore properties are getting more and more expensive.
Household size are getting smaller.
Household size getting smaller. Okay, the median income is at, I think, 10,000 over. 12,000 plus. Okay, even with a gradual increase of income over the next 5 to 8 years, or would Singaporeans or local buyers be willing to pay for big units at a massive price? Or rather, they would rather go for something small, prestigious, and yet comfortable at the price that they feel that they can afford.
So this is something for you to think about.
Yes. Alright, so unit mix we have clear, and of course we want to go into our L.E.X method again. And L.E.X method, as usual, is really on location, entry and exit.
Yes, correct.
So a lot of people say, hey, it's so simple lah, location, entry, and exit. I also know. Okay, but then why do we stick to it? Because this forms the basis of selecting a property.
Yes, correct. So where is this location exactly at?
I will ask you, District 5.
It's in District 5 within the vibrant One North Business Park.
Okay, so if you ask me, right, One North Business Park is something that, I know either local Singaporeans or PRs, right, they know or they don't know.
Yeah, correct.
Because although from my understanding is we have a massive workforce working there, but then it's something that is really in the Greater North. Or One North lah. Okay, it's not exactly in the north side, it's in the northern west side. Northwestern side, northern west.
But you call it One North lah.
Yeah, but they call it One North. Alright, so seamless connectivity, if you ask me, we have AYE and CTE directly connecting to One North. Okay, and the very famous mall that we all know is Star Vista. Okay, my time lah, when I go there, Star Vista is very famous, but now there's Rochester Mall, there's more and more coming up.
There's a lot actually.
Yes. All right.
So let us take a look, deep dive a little bit into the master plan itself.
Yeah, why master plan? Because local buyers nowadays are very, very well versed in master plan.
Yes.
Okay, so in master plan itself, we saw that new housing area in Dover, Turfu, Newton, and Patterson unveiled in URA's draft master plan 2025.
Correct. And the Prime Minister has talked about the Greater One North area to have actually approximately 11,000 new homes.
Wow. Okay, and then including approximately 5,000 private homes in Mediapolis.
Just in Mediapolis itself.
Yes, and that's where, Media Circle is.
Yes.
Alright, so not only that, we are going to see 6,000 new public and private homes built in the first phase, and then which is near to One North and Kent MRT
stations.
Yes. In current, within One North itself, there's only 1,711 units.
With another about 300 over units expected to be launched in 2026.
And next, actually...
that's about all for this year.
Yeah, and next actually Hudson Place Residences.
Correct.
Okay.
And what do we have actually in near future?
Okay, from what I understand, right, we are going to have multiple business park in the pipeline. So there's actually at least 9 more business park plots to be developed in the near future. And what does it mean?
It means a lot more jobs.
A lot more jobs, a lot more synergy. And it's really a work, play, rest, study, work,
live
location.
Yeah, correct.
You do whatever you want. One North.
Yes, and the current workforce, if you look at this, is 62,000 plus.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and then just now, how many units were we talking about? Presently, about 1,000 plus units only. Yes.
Okay, so what happened is that in the Greater One North, what they are planning is Innovation Lives. Okay, welcoming more homes, better transport connectivity, and more recreational space. So this is no longer just a business district. It's going to be a vibrant place where you really live, work, play, rest.
Yeah, so it's not all about business anymore. It will be a place where it will be like a township itself. Yeah.
Okay, so looking into One North itself, what's so special about One North? Because as we know, right, One North is actually distributed into various polis. We have Fusionopolis, Mediapolis, Biopolis, and then we have LaunchPad. Okay, so let's go into individual. So in Fusionopolis, all right, we have IT technology, media science and engineering.
Correct.
Okay.
And then we have LaunchPad. It's a place actually for startups to cultivate their entrepreneur and their collaborative culture.
Yes, that's why you see a lot of new businesses coming up. All right, and then we have Biopolis, which is biomedical and life sciences.
Correct.
And last but not least, then we have our Mediapolis, which is where Hudson Place Residences is going to be. So it's actually focusing on infocom, technology, and media.
Yes, this is where MediaCorp is also.
Okay, so you want to see TCS actors, stars, and whatever. This is the place that you should
Maybe
be.
they will just move there too.
Yes. All right. So only that, based on what government has announced, this is going to be one of the AI town as well.
Correct. And then we also have, of course, we talk about work already. Yeah, just now. So we want to be able to talk about living and playing in there.
Yeah lah. If not, I'll be staying in concrete jungle.
Yeah.
All high up rise building. Okay. So what we see here is One North Park is a 16-hectare linear park that seamlessly connect
All 8 precincts.
Yes.
Yes, and bringing this live, work, learn, play concept into life.
Okay, wow. Okay, so it's integrated with a rail corridor as well as a green spine that is ideal for cyclists, joggers, and outdoor enthusiasts.
Okay, so this is how it's connected to the rail corridor itself.
So Media Circle is right at the bottom, so it's actually connected all the way up to Kranji. Okay,
That's
so
a very, very, very long.
can you imagine One North connected all the way to Kranji? Alright, so yeah. And then of course what we have is your...
So I think people will also be asking about schools.
Of course,
Hey, I
today
live
you
there,
want
then
me to buy a house and
I
no
got
school
children,
how?
then no school how. Die lah.
Exactly. So if you're looking at it, right, today David here say that if there's no school, most local will not buy. If there's no MRT, most local will not buy.
Yep.
Okay, but today I think she's starting to prove me wrong because location, in the fact that, you know, you are in a business district
Yes.
where, you know, MRT is not really needed because you are in close proximity to your work area.
If you're walking to work, why would you need MRT?
Yes. Okay, so Car-Lite zone now makes sense because if I'm just walking to work, it makes so much better sense. I don't even need a car.
Yeah, and I didn't mention earlier there is also this the autonomous shuttle. Yes, that you can actually call and then it will come within minutes and you can just get to the destination within it
Wow.
yourself.
So it's just like a resort, then you call for your buggy and then they come.
Yes.
Alright, so looking at schools itself, we have primary school within 1 km, which is Newtown Primary School. And within 1 to 2 km, we have Fairfield Methodist.
Methodist.
And
And Queenstown Primary School.
And for those looking for international school, you have a Tanglin Trust School. Alright, yes. And of course, MRT stations is 4 minutes ride to One North.
Correct.
So when they say ride, it's actually bicycle ride lah.
No, that shuttle.
Oh, the shuttle.
The shuttle.
Alright. 1 stop to Cambridge, 2 stops to Holland.
Correct.
So the moment you reach your MRT station, right, you're actually very connected. Okay, markets and amenities. So 7 minutes ride to Star Vista, 7 minutes
Where
to
you
Mei
have
Lin.
your supermarket also.
Okay, so as of now, we don't know whether, you know, Hudson Place has
Yeah, correct.
supermarket. But then what we know is they have commercial node, which is managed by developers or companies, but not Structa owned. Okay, so it's nice because if not, once you have Structa owned, right, the moment there's low footfall or whatever, they will just let it out to any tenants.
Anybody.
Yes. Okay, so in summary, I think location advantage, if you tell me now, I truly believe because of the fact that it's Singapore
Most
upcoming
dynamic business district itself.
Correct.
Yeah.
And being the fact that it's going to be an AI town is something that Singapore government is moving the country towards.
Correct.
Yeah. And then today, the next thing is we are doing a live, work and play.
Yes.
All right. So it does make sense now that, you know, I don't need MRT to be so close and I don't need to drive, which is nice because how many of you have been driving and feeling the pain nowadays?
Yeah,
Okay,
with the
number one, road hoggers. Number two, massive numbers of cars on the road. Yeah, and then yet everybody driving slow and still got accident.
Correct. And this is Hudson Place Residences is also a very good size development with 327 units and 400 square meter of commercial space.
Yes, not massive, but I think it's more than enough because based on what we see on the master plan, right, the subsequent plot is likely going to be mixed development as well.
Yes, the plots around the area, it will all be residential with commercial.
So you give me the idea that, you know,
inside.
One North is moving towards the CBD style. Like for example, one Burnham downstairs are shop, then just
Yes.
across the road, Icon you also have shops and so on and so forth.
Correct. You don't need a very huge
Yeah, so
shopping
it
mall.
gives a very, very nice lifestyle advantage. Yeah.
Yes.
So, of course, last but not least, we have our URA master plan Dover. Okay, Greater One North. As I think now that we have clear location, and I truly believe that, location is really quite okay. If you ask me, because number one is really on the concept of live, work, play, and learn. So I don't need my MRT. I don't even need to drive.
Yeah.
Okay, and then connected to rail corridors, connected to park. I think I have my recreation. Okay.
Yes.
I have everything I want there.
And you're near to NUS also.
Yes.
You're near to different schools.
Yes. So next thing that we are interested in is entry.
Yeah.
Hey, today you don't tell me, Hudson Place is going to launch at 2008, 2009 and expect me to buy that place. No, I'm not going to buy into that.
And I tell you a really fun fact. Qingjian actually bought this land, right? Just before the announcement was made about this Greater One North area.
So that means could be cheaper. So, okay, let's go into it. Okay, it was at 1037 PSF per plot ratio for Media Circle Parcel A. And surprisingly, it is cheaper than Parcel B.
B.
Okay, Parcel B is 1001 plus.
Which was also awarded to Qingjian. That's Bloomsbury now.
Yes. So today we are looking at the break-even price, right? Is only at 2000.
And 52. Yeah.
Okay, so to make a 10% profit, they will likely sell at 2002 plus, 15 2003, 20% is 2004 plus, and 25% is 2005 plus.
If they want to make a 30% profit, it's $2,668.
In fact, if you ask me, District 5 RCR location, business district, to even sell at 2006 plus, right? I think people will still buy because you know why? Union Square residence, after discount, is now at 2006 plus as well. And it's also in the RCR location.
Correct. And then if you are comparing it to the next plots of land that are coming out in OCR itself, yeah. Well, do you think it will make sense for you, David?
Okay, today it's very simple. Our concept is like that. Okay, CCR has to be more expensive than RCR. RCR has to be more expensive than OCR. But based on this chart that we are seeing, right, OCR prices is going to be even higher than Hudson Place.
Correct.
Okay, and based on this, right, break even for Hudson Place 2052 ma.
Yeah.
Okay, Bayshore break even is 2528. Okay, and then
One growth the first side
2512.
2512, and then the second side is 2451.
So what we are reaching is based on what we are seeing, right? Based on the break even and for developer to earn, right? The OCR is going to be launched at 2627 PSF.
2627 also very difficult to launch to earn money.
Don't earn so much lah.
Yes.
So but then today, why is the cost likely going to be higher?
Because of the war that's going
Yes.
on, our construction prices will actually rise.
Yeah, while we are so interested in the ballistic missiles flying here and there, okay, whichever place is being targeted, we must understand that the Straits of Hormuz is being closed, slowly opening up, but then the shipping route, right? What is going to happen is going to be massive delay.
Correct.
Okay, so as of what government has actually informed us, okay, prices are likely set to rise.
We may even face a food shortage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so then people say, hey, food shortage, I better don't buy property, buy food. Okay, but then other than that, I think Singapore is still quite safe, but then inevitably, right, I think cement, oil, and everything, the price will go up.
Yeah,
So
correct.
and developer for sure will not be accepting the cost. They cannot absorb my
They
business
cannot absorb
failure.
the cost, yeah, because they will do it.
Yeah, unless like synergy they earn lesser and then give it to the people. Alright, but then what we're looking at is OCR is going to be more expensive than RCR. So does it even make sense? So RCR, if today you miss it, right?
Yes. What
Are you
will
gonna pay
the
more?
next ones be like?
Yeah, so today's price is today's price. Tomorrow's price is something that we might not even be able to reach.
Yeah.
Alright. So other than that, okay, this slide I have to disagree a bit because they say that there's actually a 13% price advantage against Bloomsbury.
Yeah.
But today, if I'm a developer having same plot of land, two side by side,
Yeah, I mean both are yours.
I don't think I will want to sell it cheaper than Bloomsbury.
I mean,
because
I don't want to affect the sales next time for my
yeah.
own clients
Yeah,
again.
my own clients. Then what will my buyer say? Well, if I know, I will buy the second plot.
Yeah,
Okay,
I mean
so,
really 丢臭鸡蛋
yeah, if you ask me, the price likely is going to be launched at about 2004 plus. Alright, so does it make sense or not? It makes sense because if you look at the entry price, RCR cheaper than OCR. Alright, then we also have Lindenwood price protection, which is not too far away.
Not too far off,
Alright,
yeah.
launch sells 94.5% on day one.
At an average of 2,450 per square foot.
Yes. And of course, we have Bloomsbury. Initially, launch was not really fantastic, but 70% sold subsequently and still selling daily.
Initial launch was about 25% only. at 2474 PSF averagely. Now it's over 70% sold. So I think people are getting, to know about the transformation and all.
So viewers out there, instead of waiting, do us a favor today. If you're going to buy a property, right, buy it within affordability. Don't think of waiting, because the next wait could cost you so much more.
Yeah, cost you a bedroom.
Yeah, unless you are very sure that the economy of Singapore will drop, and then property price will definitely drop. If not, my suggestion is to follow the DBS Asian Insights on the fact that property prices are going to rise.
Yes.
Okay, on an average of
2 to 3%.
Yeah, 2 to 3% CAGR, and then by 2030, average pricing is going to hit $3,000.
Correct.
Okay, so this is something that we have to ponder before we think to wait. All right.
So for people who are keen to buy, now let's talk a bit about how to exit.
Seriously, if you ask me, no MRT, no school, right? You want to exit, right? I'll be asking you, hey, I'm buying for my family, leh. Then now you don't even have 3 or 4 bedder. Then school don't have also.
What don't have
3 or 4 3 and 4 bedder have, but not many.
Yeah, not many.
Okay,
how
so
to 抢到, right?
Yeah, then after that, no school nearby. Why would I want to buy the 3 and 4 bedder? Okay, so like just now we mentioned, it's probably wise to buy 2 and 3 bedders or big 2 lah. Okay, reason because of smaller household size. And based on the smaller household size, future affordability.
Yep.
Okay, because you might be holding on to a big units, but because you are selling at a higher quantum.
If the quantum is really too big for most people to accept.
Yes, people cannot afford lah.
Yes.
So if you look at Hong Kong itself, okay, massive PSF, overall quantum too high. People cannot afford. So most of people are buying smaller units.
Yeah.
Yeah, because a roof over the head is better than none.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, so the exit, we have looked at the transformation of One North.
So at a glance here, right, we see 8 distinct precincts then we have actually 16 hectares of parkland.
Oh, okay. And then what we have also is 15 public research institute and 5 institute of higher learning and corporate universities. Okay, so what we're going to see here is we're going to see massive influx of students, number one.
Yeah.
Massive influx of workers, and not only workers, but very skilled and high knowledge workers.
Correct.
Okay, and with these skilled and high knowledge workers, right, what do they mean? They have a higher pay, they can afford more.
Okay.
All right, and then, we are having also connectivity or public transport.
Yes.
And we also have neighboring population in Ghim Moh, Holland and more.
Yeah.
So these are the, as you know, even if for HDBs, they are the $1 million HDB range. Okay, so they can easily come into your future home when you want to exit later. Okay, so next, what else?
So this is a location where offices are already set up.
What does it mean?
Right. There's over 400. There's going to be over 400 companies in there itself. Okay.
So what this simply means is we have ready buyers and ready tenants. Okay, ready buyers because this is a place where government has actually zoned up for live, work, learn and play.
Yes.
Okay, so people who are working there likely wants to buy there.
Correct.
Now, just like I have a client in CBD, just because she's working in International Plaza, okay, she bought 76 Shenton.
That's very near.
And then she goes to gym in the CBD and eats around the CBD only.
Yes.
Okay, so not only that, we are looking at
this being Singapore's technology corridor.
also the offices and things like that. So Singapore Technology Corridor.
Yes.
Where we are looking at workforce of already 50,000 plus and likely to increase to 60,000. Okay, and when Genio is fully operational.
Yes, you increase another 21,000.
Yes.
Workforce.
Okay, so then you'll be asking, you talk about all the companies, so what are the leading companies?
Yeah, the one some Ikan Bilis company or something like that.
So
we have Razer.
Yeah, the one in computer, I think Mouse, P&G, SEA, Walt Disney, Grab, Seagate, MediaCorp, Canon.
A-Star.
Yeah, A-Star. Yes.
Ubisoft.
Yes. And not only that, more jobs are being created with Greater One North expansion. Okay, so wow, this is another powerful news. Greater One North to provide 120,000 jobs.
Yes.
In the near future.
So in fact, from the 50,000 currently, right, you're adding another about 70,000 more.
Yeah. So Singapore is definitely going to be more congested.
This will account for 5% of Singapore's employment.
Yeah. So a lot of people will be asking, hey, why do they need to create this kind of business district where live, work and play are all in place? Because with the increasing population, imagine this, if everybody takes MRT or drive to the CBD to work.
Sink.
Yeah, you will never be able to go to work on time.
Overload.
Okay?
Yeah.
So this.
And of course, currently, a lot of tech giants have already planted
Is it?
been planted in One North already.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what we are seeing is SEA headquarters, Shopee, Garena.
Yes, Grab headquarters also.
Yeah. Wilma also.
Wilma too. Yes.
SSP is also home to over 350 laboratories, MNC as well as global leading tech companies.
Yes. So all these are very desirable tenant profiles actually.
Yes. So what we're going to see is this lah. Personally, I feel that today when you buy a house, right? Okay, while we are waiting out for the time to sell,
Yes.
to make your massive profit, but you cannot leave it empty unless you are staying there.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next thing that we want to look at is really the
Tenants.
tenant profile.
Yes.
And what we are seeing here
Tenants
is
pool.
yes.
Yes.
Okay, so but then in terms of who is going to buy from here, right, what we have here is really limited supply, overwhelmed demand.
Yep.
Okay, because as of now, right, we only have 4,243 units in One North itself. Okay, with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 projects already within the area, built already. The next coming up is Lindenwood, Bloomsbury, and Hudson
Media
Place.
circle. Yes. Hudson.
Media circle. Okay, so that one will come up. The new ones will come up to be less than about 1,000 units. So it's barely enough for a 62,000 workforce.
Yes, correct.
Okay, and mind you, the 62,000 workforce are all likely mostly small household size. Coming to it, right, we have 5,545 units, and with a 65,000 workforce, right, it's barely enough, and it's going to reach 21,000 workforce in the future.
Yes.
Increase to 21,000.
Currently in Singapore Science Park itself, the workforce is about 12,000. It's going to be 21,000 once Geno becomes fully operational.
Yes. So what happens is when you have massive demand, limited supply, even Normanton Park, okay, the location which I feel that is really in our terms lah, but no lay egg. Okay.
And it's also far from the MRT.
Yeah, has 592 rental leh.
In just last year itself.
Yes. Alright. So the next question is,
no MRT. How?
now this is my biggest concern. No MRT, how can I sell it to next time? And I'm sure it's also your concern because nowadays when you are buying property, MRT location, you will sure grab.
Yeah, now it's like, Singaporeans, we always go by trend.
Yes.
So now it's the popular schools and MRT trend.
Yes. Alright, so what we have here is proven. Principal Garden, not near MRT, yet still creating real estate winners. Okay, TOP in 2018.
It has about 663 units.
Yeah. Wow, the profit is up to 1.436 million.
Wow.
Of course, then you will say, before COVID, the price was low. Now the price, so naturally the price will pick up. But then what we are looking at is really a massive profit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
And not because of location, is because of the entry price.
Yes.
Okay. So today, when you're buying a property, location is not the utmost importance, although it's of consideration. But the more important thing is really the entry price. Okay.
And then we have Claremont. TOP in 2024.
Yes. TOP in 2024, and then what we see is profit up to 940,000.
Yeah.
Okay, but if you look at it, right, the PSF, the quantum, the PSF is very acceptable. Because based on the PSF, when they buy the PSF is about 1,500.
Correct.
Okay, the exit PS is about 2001, 2002. Okay, so they make a profit on the PSF.
Very
But
good
today,
profit,
if you're looking at the quantum, right, 3,000 PSF is the quantum achievable. So today, bad is when you're buying this project itself, okay, or future project that you see, you might not want to go into something that's too big.
Yep. So you actually profit, right? Not because of MRT itself. Yeah. So you mainly profit because you enter at the correct
Price point in terms of quantum.
Yes.
Okay.
And when you exit into the strong demand,
Yes.
yeah, then that makes a
So
difference.
PSF is no longer so important if you ask me because TDSR plays a bigger part. All right. So today, no MRT.
Yes.
If I'm still concerned, how?
But then there's a hearsay, speculation going on. Okay, because there's actually a plot of land, if you look into a master plan, it's only 0.8 plot ratio. What can you build with it?
Pavilion, no?
Pavilion.
Okay,
Yes.
so what we have here is there might be a case of proposed MRT line, and that's likely either the Tengah or Seletar MRT line that's been studied, and it's going to be in operation in 2040.
2040 though.
Yeah, so if you ask me, right, if my project TOP in 2029 and then in another 10 years I have my MRT ready, that adds even higher value to my property because it's still young,
Correct.
Okay, so but based on this proposed MRT line, right, it is likely going to be within, if it happens,
If it happens,
the station
yes.
is likely going to be within 1 minute to Hudson Place.
Yes, correct.
Okay, so the next thing is this. Hey, Audrey, I got to wait so long to sell properly, probably make a massive profit.
Yeah, I mean, if the, all the things are coming out and all, maybe in the next 10, 20 years.
Then what if I'm not staying? Yeah, what, I'm supposed to leave it empty for the next 20 years, 10 years?
Of course not. Look at this.
Okay, so rental demand.
Okay, so because One North, right, is actually a very talent magnet.
Okay,
Place,
so what we have
okay?
is high income tech engineers, AI and R&D professionals, global tech executive,
And
biomedical
then you have
scientists.
biomedical scientists.
Well, they're all people, all rich people.
Yes, all these people are highly paid, okay, and then their salaries are expected to rise faster.
Yes,
And
so
they
if
will prefer to live near their workplace.
so if your children now going to study, right, please go into one of these professions. Alright, so but they likely prefer to live near work because to be
I work
convenient.
until so late or what already. I don't want to spend so much time traveling also.
Yes.
Right.
So what happened is in this One North, right, is actually called Singapore Silicon Valley. We have more than 400 global and regional companies.
Yes.
3 media tech cluster. Just now we mentioned the Fusionopolis.
Yeah, all the polis.
All the polis. Alright. And then we have more than 50k knowledge workers in One North as of today.
Yes, and in fact, this ecosystem is still expanding.
Yes, up to 120,000 workers, workforce. Okay, so in terms of rental, right, what we are seeing for rental transaction volume in One North area is massive. Okay, every year, no matter which project, even One North Eden, the moment it's COP, right, a small project is having 67 and 43 renters in 2024 and 2023. 26. All in all, 664 rental.
That's for Normanton Park itself.
Yeah, so most of the units are, if you ask me, rented out is very fast. Okay, because we did do a rental for One North before.
Correct.
Easy. Close one eye. Today you publish, today it goes. But must be a right price lah.
Yeah,
Don't go overboard lah. Okay?
So why Hudson Place will make sense today?
Seriously, if you ask me right now, I'm pretty much convinced, but I think we should tell our viewers what is it.
Correct, because there's actually exit demand due to the transformation.
This is the most important because when you're buying a property, right, you must have your exit demand.
You want to buy into transformation, but don't just buy into one MRT line transformation, then
Yes.
you think it's a transformation
Yes.
going on. Okay,
So transformation to what we say is always, based on the master plan, there's massive transformation over the years. Okay, and it's not too far away.
Yes. And of course, the low land cost advantage.
Okay, this is actually positioned with room for future appreciation. Okay, basically, why is there a low land cost advantage? It's really because we are buying RCR and OCR prices.
pricing.
Okay, and then by the time you TOP, when you want to sell, right, the rest of properties nearby are getting older.
Yep.
Yeah, so you have a new advantage.
You have an age over the
age
rest.
younger,
Younger. So
Yeah.
Okay.
As per Chinese saying, 长江后浪推前浪.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
长江前浪推后浪, I don't know. But if the young will overtake the old lah.
Yeah. Then, of course, entering before the transformation is fully completed.
Yes, I think that's very important. Today, you don't want to buy something just like, Tengah Garden Residence. You can buy, 10 years later, but the price will definitely be higher.
Yes,
because
definitely
transformation
very,
finished.
very different. Yeah.
But when you are buying before the transformation, right, you're buying something that is, developers cannot price so high lah, because if they don't have selling point, they can talk about future, but future not happening. But once the future is here, right, the price will definitely shoot up.
Yes.
Okay? And built-in demand drivers.
Of course, within this town itself, this township itself, you have this connectivity, you have amenities and lifestyle appeals.
Yes.
It will support your resale.
And the important thing is there's massive skilled workers working in the area. And most likely these people wants to live near their workplace.
Yeah.
Not really for the fact that, they are workaholics, but it's really the fact that, they can actually work, live, play and learn in the same area and they are saving time.
Yep.
Okay,
Time
because
is money.
Yeah, for professionals, time is money.
Yes.
Alright, so if you ask me today, Hudson Place is something which you can go into, but then please plan your finances properly.
Yep.
And then look into probably not the really big units, if you ask me. Okay, 3 bedders probably is a good choice. 4 bedders, you can look at the overall quantum to see whether it makes sense for the future buyers.
Correct. Even for the 3 bedders, right? If you are buying the smallest 3 bedders, it's
Yes.
893 square feet.
Yes.
So it's still very, very comfortable.
Comfortable to live in.
Yes.
But then if you are a family of 4 working in the the One North area, probably you don't want to buy a 2-bed 1 bath. Doesn't make sense.
And there's no 2-bed 1 bath.
Don't have a 2-bed 2 bath. Okay, but then then for family of 4, if your kids are still small, within 5-6 years you want to shift,
Yeah.
I think it still makes sense for 2-bed 2 bath. There's no need to go into really big units. Okay, so I think we got to go into the important dates, targeted preview.
Yes, from 1st May to 12th May. This is the targeted preview. If you like to know when the exact dates are, do contact us. Okay?
Yes, and today don't go into the show flag without David and Audrie. Okay, because we are going to show you much more that you think you might you will need to know before you actually pen in the check.
Correct.
Okay, target booking date will be 16th of May 2026. And as per Singaporeans' attitude towards new launches based on hype, I think this project itself, the sell-out rate is likely going to be less than 90%. You want to say?
90,
no. I would say probably you will see a take-up rate of 40 to 50%.
Yeah.
For a start.
I think that was
Okay,
that
but
would be the...
then you got to ask yourself whether it makes sense for you to go in at the start. Because it's really, remember, RCR at OCR prices.
Correct.
Okay, but of course, most importantly, before you go into the show flag, give us a buzz so that we can show you exactly what is the good unit that you should be choosing and the unique selling point of this project and how you can exit from this project eventually.
Correct.
Okay, I'm David.
I'm Audrie. Do remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yes, and then we'll be bringing to you more content. So stay tuned. Bye-bye.
Bye.